Yeah, the microphone's there now. Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning and happy Tuesday to you. This is take two. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully you guys can hear me cool, hear me fine. Hope everything is working swell. Hope it's all working. Looks like the fam is all here. I appreciate you guys hanging in there and being patient with us as we get this technical difficulty fixed and handled. It looks as though it is working really swell now. So what I was trying to say earlier was that I was listening to Raoul Pal today, and we're going to share some clips. I didn't get to share some of the bites, if you will, from the last video that he did in an interview that he did sometime in February. But this is a guy, again, historic trader, big time macro trader who is accustomed to working with and dealing with institutions on an everyday basis. In fact, these institutions, major institutions and firms, come to him for guidance in the traditional space, excuse me, and also in now crypto. So we're going to get a chance to listen to him. So listen, the market is doing, guys, what the market does. The Bitcoin is over $54,000, interestingly enough. Yeah, and so the seems like the alts are just kind of doing their thing and kind of going sideways. So we'll talk about that. We'll go over some of the numbers as well. But I really want you guys to get a great perspective from Raoul Pal on the bigger picture. And just because he's saying Bitcoin, I want you to think the bigger picture in the digital asset space, because that is certainly important for sure. The bigger picture. It's not about one asset or another, like Raoul Pal talks about. It is about the entire digital asset space and what it represents for you and I. So, guys, 35 people here. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, collapse the chat and smash that like button if you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in. We're gonna have a really good talk and listening to a guy who gets it. And again, he's on the inside, if you will, in dealing with these institutions. Very interesting approach that is different than Tika's, who has that same kind of inside thing. It's a different approach. I'm glad we have both, so we can gain perspectives from both. And but I really like what Raoul Pal is doing in the business that he's trying to build with real vision and with real vision crypto. So we're going to talk about that. Good morning, Coco Crypto. Good to see you this morning. Chris P is here, said just got me some more ALGO at $1.06. Nice, good for you, my friend. Yeah, and good morning, John Edwards. MoneyGram piloting Ripple payments. The banks came calling sees they had prioritized the big boys. What's going on, John? MoneyGram piloting Ripple payments. The banks came calling sees they had prioritized the big boys. So what do you mean by that, John? Can you expound on that a little bit? XRP Walford is here. Good morning, fam. Good morning, XRP Walford. Miss Gail, another lady of crypto checking in. I love it. The volume is working fine. Thank you. Where are you checking in from, Miss Gail? Crypto Delivery, good morning to you. John Doe, thank you very much. Appreciate you hanging in there with all those technical issues. King Othello is here. Got to refresh those thumbs up. There you go. Crypto Delivery. Rob Singh is here. Guys, thank you so much. Ian Carter, greetings from Brooklyn. What's good? We were just in Brooklyn. That's my hometown. We were just there. Not even a week or so ago. Thanks for the mic. Stay bullish indeed. Wi-Fi, thank you, man. Appreciate you checking back in. Mr. Pasquale is here. Oh, yeah, sound is on. Got it. Channing Cobb. Wow, how about that? Welcome to the channel, Channing. Hey, Channing, where are you checking in from, my friend? Jay Corn is here. Sup? What's going on with you, bro? Wade Johnson. Boom. How are you, Wade? Trevor LaConte, as always, appreciate all that you do. I love it when you share some content, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with me, bro. I appreciate that big time. Luna the Alpha Wolf is here. Good morning, Mr. Crypto Seeds. Good morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for checking in. What's going on, bro? XRP. And we got Jason Master Pietro. Siege, what's good? That CRO coin is huge. Sleeper. Love is love. Indeed it is. Hashtag love is love. Good to see you checking in today, Jason. MoneyGram was a test run. So yeah, John, what were you saying there in reference to MoneyGram? Yeah, you know, and a lot of times too, in reference to the test run, we talked about MoneyGram in relationship with Ripple, and we talked on this channel, bro, XRP can attest to this. So we talked on this channel that we believe that the MoneyGram work with Ripple and ODL was a proof of concept for institutions in Wall Street. It was a proof of concept because they understand the MoneyGram model. And if it works there and it came across as a success, it would be a big time litmus test, if you will, right? So we talked about it being a proof of concept, if you will, and with MoneyGram, right? Registered entity, right? Million, billions in transactions is what I'm understanding. It went well, right? No hiccups and all these different kind of things, right? A proof of concept for Wall Street. Right? And I think that's really rare. The banks have Ripple to make sure the CBDC already. Gotcha. Absolutely, John Edwards. Absolutely, my friend. Someone's checking in from Philly. Who's checking in from Philly? I saw that. Philly here in the Bird, Norseman. Love it. Josh Rogers, what's up from Atlanta? Hot Atlanta. Love it. Coco Crypto, you're a New York native as well. I love that. We're part of New York Coco Crypto. So guys, let's go over the numbers for the market. And then we're going to get into this thing. Let's get level up, if you will, our digital asset space as a whole and learn from someone who I think is just tremendous for the space. Bitcoin is at $54,253. Ethereum is at $1,821. The Binance coin, $271. Cardano is at $1.17. DOT, which is Polkadot, is $35.91. XRP is at $47.5. And Uniswap's at 32.84, so $32, and 84 cents. Litecoin's at $198, and so the alts are just kind of treading sideways. Link is at $30.68. Bitcoin Cash $534.38. Stellar Lumens is at 42 cents, and CRO, my friend, is at 16.9. Hope you're making some big gains. Hope you're making some, lifestyle changing gains for you, my friend. And Doge is at 5.5 cents. We mentioned Doge because, they are going to get some kind of utility, if you will, when they come upon the Flare networks, right? When they get on that Flare networks, it'll be some really, really interesting stuff. So I pointed out some stuff here on this this interview here with Raoul Pal that I really want you guys to listen to gain a better perspective of what's going on in the market. There he is there. Let me see, start at minute 7:55. And again, I just think it's important to get the institutional perspective on Bitcoin and the digital asset space and what's going to take place is hugely, hugely important for us because we got here first. And so we get the benefit. Of the institutional money coming into this space. All right, let's start right here.
Fantastic start to this year. I myself have been pretty active in Bitcoin now for 4 years. Very busy, obviously, running a podcast, speaking to a lot of people. But at the same time, my real conviction has really started. I would say the trigger point was COVID lockdowns. I was still mainly in fiat. I had exposure to Bitcoin. I owned some Bitcoin. But ever since the COVID lockdowns, I've gradually been putting the majority of my personal and business wealth into Bitcoin. And strangely, even though I've been in Bitcoin for 4 years, the majority of Bitcoin I've purchased has been over the $10,000 price. And I've been buying increasingly more over the last 5 to 6 months, and 5 to 6 weeks. And this isn't a FOMO thing. It's not like I'm FOMOing in. I've actually just had more conviction from what has been happening with the likes of Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, Mass Mutual, Ruffers, Stonebridge. Like, there's all these different institutions now coming in and we're placing serious bets. And for me, that is essentially put this like protective moat around Bitcoin now. Do you feel similar?
Yeah, very much so. So,
a protective mode around Bitcoin, which is a protective mode around the digital asset space, especially those, in my opinion, that have a real world use case. And it's clear that for Bitcoin in its current state, it's not going to be payments. It's clear that Bitcoin's shot is in the store of value. But what is even more clear is that institutional money is saying that's what we look for in Bitcoin. Institutional money is not focused on price and not focused on payments. They are focused on what Bitcoin brings in the terms of store of value. And again, I don't think they've won the store of value yet, but that's what they're going after. And that's what the institutions are hoping that they get, that store of value. For us, it's more like the monetary policy that comes along with Bitcoin that is the most important.
Like you, I've been in Bitcoin. I've been in Bitcoin since 2013, but I had nothing coming into 2019. And then, I had a conversation with Dan Tapiero. He forced me to get back in again, start focusing on it, and the price was going against it, right? So it wasn't the right time, but it got me to refocus, thinking, okay. And then, that structural framework from Plan B gave us all something to hold on to. So that gave us something. Then the price action, it broke out of that wedge, and that was like, okay, now we've got a structural roadmap. We kind of realized that the world's moved forward, and we've got price action that confirms it. And then, out of the blue, we started hearing about institutions in the space. And for me, same thing, is because I had a ton of conversations. It started with hedge fund managers in their personal accounts saying, I got to get some Bitcoin. And then I'm like, if it goes in their personal accounts, I'll end up in their funds. They just can't do it.
It started with hedge fund managers saying they have to get Bitcoin into their personal accounts. And Ralph says, well, it starts in their personal. They'll figure out a way to get it into their business accounts.
And then you start seeing what Fidelity are doing, BlockFi are doing, and a bunch of other people are doing in the space, and you realize they're making institutional access easier. Okay, that gives me more conviction. Then you start seeing the announcements come, and then offline, I'm getting ridiculous phone calls from ridiculous people telling me ridiculous stuff about what's going on. I'm like, wow, I knew about the New York big guys for a while because, I knew a bunch of people involved with them. So that gives me the confidence that it's not just, let's say, like Wall Street Bets, where it's basically a bunch of retail investors trying to maintain price action. Here we've actually got a broadening, diversifying, deepening market, which looks perfect technically, has a good roadmap, has good seasonality. It's like, if you can't find conviction here, you're never going to find it. Because like you, this is like the perfect storm, positive storm for Bitcoin.
Yeah, one of the things that I keep thinking about though is, and it goes round and round in my mind, is that do we have an issue that people will constantly think they're too late? And how do we get past that issue? That's probably the more important question.
Listen to this answer.
When Michael Saylor made his big bet, I think he paid on average around $11,500 for his first $450 million. And then he bought that extra 600 million or 650, and I think that was at around 18,000, maybe averaged over 20, I can't remember. And I kept thinking, the people will see you did at 11, then see you did at 20. Now we're at 30 or 35. We get to 40, 50. Does that become a problem for people because they keep thinking they've missed out? Is that a conversation you're having with the investors you talk to?
No, because the investors don't look at it in those terms. Price is irrelevant. That's a retail obsession, right?
The institutions, investors don't think that way. That's a retail investor mindset. Massively important, right? So, because we're looking to create generational wealth here, right? I mean, that's the goal ultimately. And so if we want to act like the 1%, if we want that opportunity to act like the 1%, we have to learn to think like the 1%, right? And this is where Raoul Paul hangs, right?
Penny stocks, they're cheaper. For institutions, it is, what is the adoption? What is the regulation? What is the market cap? So the more it goes up, the more the market cap makes it available for them to purchase. So that is a much bigger deal than price. So price is a function of that growing market cap. But if you're BlackRock, you would not have looked at it until it got to this, near $1 trillion market cap. And that's the thing. So it's not about price, because what they're looking for, nobody thinks when they buy, let's say, the S&P 500 for a portfolio, for a larger portfolio, they're not thinking, how much is it going to go up? Is it too high at this price? They think, what's the portfolio diversification effects? Does it help add accretive value? How does it perform over the cycle, meaning numerous cycles? All of those things is what they actually look for, because they're looking for portfolio returns.
Interesting point. Let's listen to that one more time, then I'm gonna get in the chat here, because he said they're looking at what's the regulatory framework around it, what's the market cap, and it was another one that started with an A, and I missed it. So let's try again.
Just don't look at it in those terms. Price is irrelevant. That's a retail obsession. Right?
Price is irrelevant.
Stocks, they're cheaper. For institutions, it is, what is the adoption? What is the regulation? What is the market cap?
Adoption.
So the more it goes up, the more the market cap makes it available for them to purchase. So that is a much bigger deal than price. So price is a function of that growing market cap. But if you're BlackRock, you would not have looked at it until it got to this, near $1 trillion market cap.
Massive point there, right? And what he's saying is the price is irrelevant. That's a retail investor mindset. That's a retail investor mindset. That's not how institutional money, the real money, looks at it. They look at adoption. What's the adoption rate, right? What's the regulation around it so that we can operate in it correctly? And what's the market cap, right? Because they're not going to take it seriously until it's established a market cap. Until it's established a market cap, right? So remember, we all know, because we've been in the space early, we've learned that people and institutions will get into Bitcoin first, and then they'll begin to realize where the better returns on their money are. And even once they come out of Bitcoin, and not come out, but begin to diversify outside of Bitcoin, they're still going to start with a small portion, but they will have done their homework, and they will have realized that the large cap altcoins significantly outperform Bitcoin. They'll learn that. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to hang out with Dogecoin, but surely they're going to hang out in the larger market caps. Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, XRP, right? They're going to hang in the larger ones. And now we learned last night that a lot of them are playing with Polkadot. They're investing it's through an ETP, right? And that's how the hedge funds and the institutions are going to initially come into the space. They can come into any kind of ET they can get, whether it's an ETF or it's an ETP, right? And they're going to come in and get their feet wet through, what's it called? Shoot, I can't remember the name of it now. Futures, through the futures. All right, they're going to come in through the futures initially, and you're going to learn why. You know, they have to tread and they have to take these certain steps before they can actually just purchase a digital asset straight out, not having to use an ETF or ETP and not going through futures. You're going to learn that as well. Klaus, what's going on, my friends? So guys, do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't done so on the way in. Hugely important that this is how we let YouTube know that we want to get the channel out to more of us that are hanging out on YouTube that don't know about the digital asset space, guys. I got to tell you, it's massively important to let people know. We want the new 1%. We want more of us winning in this space. And that's how we do it. We do it by smashing the like button and letting people know that this is this new asset class out here that they don't even know about, that they can create wealth and possibly even generational wealth, which is huge. Good to see you this morning, Klaus. Klaus, says, everyone right now, please thumb up for this man. He is doing it every day for us. Please like. Thank you, Klaus. I appreciate that. Klaus is here. What's going on, my friends? Good to see you. It is definitely good to see you. Codius is Flair. What's going on with that? Hello from India, says Samujal Das. Hello from India. Namaste, my friend. Namaste. Appreciate you being here. Checking in from the Dominican Republic, says Jason. I love it. We traveled there not too long ago. So you see what I'm saying, guys? That's the bigger picture for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Wi-Fi says Ripple dissolves its partnership with MoneyGram, including pulling their investment position. Yeah. Can you speak to that, bro, please? Also, Rao didn't even speak to the return on investment, right? Surely that's the consideration. Yeah, and that's coming. That's coming. But it's a different kind of way. You're going to learn that the institutions and these hedge funds, they think on a different level. They think on a different level. I think XRP will take BTC spot. BTC will be gone when the Three Gorges Dam burst. Yeah, we in Ripple and what they're looking to do with XRP is, look, it's going to be massive without question. There is absolutely no question. There's no doubt about it. 47 cents. There's a reason. There's a reason for it, and the more and more I learn, the more I understand that this market is letting you know. Once you understand who's controlling it, it's letting you know who's gonna really change its trajectory in the digital asset space without question. Yeah, without question. So. New to this market, recommended to your page, says Jay Fang Su. Oh, welcome to the channel, my friend. Bronx check-in was my first avenue since I missed the XRP wave in New York. Oh, you're from New York as well, man. Welcome. That's my stomping grounds, man. Straight out of Brooklyn for sure. So guys, you see what I'm saying here and how they're thinking. I think it's important to understand how the institutions are going to work in this space. Like, now that we know that they're coming, how are they going to work in the space? What are they going to be doing? And Rao really points to some very interesting things that I would not have thought how institutions were going to work in this space. I would have never thought that. So let's continue to listen on. And Wi-Fi, I don't understand Ripple dissolving its partnership, but other than with MoneyGram, other than it has to do, in my opinion, it's like a 1 and a 1A. The 1 would be because of the lawsuit. And the 1A would be because perhaps there is a bigger suitor. Right? And so a lot of times in these agreements and or partnerships, it's not exclusivity necessarily. Right? It's not necessarily, you know, exclusive relationship or partnership. And so resolve it, maybe there's a bigger suitor. You know, and doesn't necessarily mean it's in the same business model as MoneyGram, but it could be perhaps a bigger suitor that's looking to partner with Ripple. All right, let's since this is a more Raoul Pal. See here.
And that's the thing. So it's not that price, because what they're looking for, nobody thinks when they buy, let's say, the S&P 500 for a portfolio, for a larger portfolio. They're not thinking, how much is it going to go up? Is it too high at this price? They think, what's the portfolio diversification effects? Does it help add accretive value? How does it perform over the cycle, meaning, you know, numerous cycles? You know, all of those things is what they actually look for, because they're looking for portfolio returns. This is an issue with the space, because the space still thinks of it in retail terms. So I think that structural change. I mean, again, Michael Saylor and the corporate treasurers don't think of it in price terms. They think of it, what does it do to the balance sheet of my corporation to offset other issues that I have with currency balances and treasury ownings and bond ownings and stuff like that. And so that's not a price conversation as such. Obviously, price is important, but it's more overall.
That's kind of interesting, that market cap point. So do you believe there's potentially a wall of money that comes in when Bitcoin does breach the 1 trillion market cap?
Yes, I think that's what we're seeing, is front running the size of the market cap. Because at 1 trillion comes a serious asset. At 10 trillion, it's gold in terms of asset size. So that deepens and makes a broader market and allows more participants into it. So if you think of the more conservative pension funds, well, they can't take it seriously because they still think they have career risk. But when it's a $10 trillion asset, it's not going to get regulated to zero, because $10 trillion is owned by individuals and pension plans and corporations and everything. So it's these kind of things that actually drive them.
So what kind of things are holding people back at the moment in the conversations that you're having?
Time. I mean, so I spoke to, so it just takes some time to onboard. So the conversations I get from family offices and institutions, I spoke to a big conservative asset management firm. I spoke to their Hong Kong office, and they're thinking through Bitcoin.
Listen to this, guys.
And so I've given them the asset allocation paper that we got at Real Vision. You know, we commissioned at Real Vision. I said, here's that. And I said, that's exactly what we need. Now, can you present to this group? So I presented to that group, and then it's like, can you now present to the senior managers? Present to the senior managers. Then they need to write it all up. Then, if they say, yes, we're going to do it, how? Okay. Now, we can start with futures, which is what BlackRock are doing. Because if it's cash settled futures, I don't need to worry about the bearer asset elements. So that works. But after that, when they want to own Bitcoin, they need to get an entirely back office infrastructure. How do you price it? Nobody has consistent pricing. Nobody, you know, what time does it close and open? Where all of the things that they need just for their risk models aren't normal. So all of this needs to be built out. And you need to get approval from trustees. So this shit can take 2 months to get to buying futures. It can take 9 months to get to actually buying Bitcoin and custodying it with somebody.
You see, that is kind of the difference, right? And so institutions are coming, but these are the things, and these big hedge funds and these family offices and large firms, you know, they have to take into consideration all kinds of things. So 2 months to get into futures, 9 months to just start directly getting Bitcoin and holding it. So he said, what's kind of holding the people from institutions from coming in? It's not timing, because this is the time. It's just merely time, 2 months to get in the futures and 9 months to actually be able to get the Bitcoin, hold the Bitcoin, go through this process of, working with the CIO, having to go through this process and go through the trustees and et cetera, to be able to get the approval to hold it. But they're coming, right? And the BlackRock CIO, what I shared with you guys yesterday, said Bitcoin could replace gold. And if you understand, let me do this. And if you understand how significant BlackRock is, you got to get what they are saying is what they're expecting. What BlackRock is saying is what they're expecting, right? Make sure I have this. BlackRock CIO, and this is the guy who makes the moves that Raoul Pal was talking about for the institutions and the big hedge fund managers. The CIO, BlackRock CIO, Bitcoin could replace gold. Right? Raoul Pal just said, at 1 trillion, BlackRock's, Bitcoin gets to 1 trillion, and they came in a month or so prior to that, expecting, front running their competition, because they expected to see Bitcoin get to a $1 trillion asset class. And BlackRock knows that when it gets to 1 trillion by itself, all the other big companies and firms just like themselves are going to want to get in. So they front ran the competition. And so that would lead you to believe that the BlackRock CIO says Bitcoin could replace gold. That means they're expecting Bitcoin to get to a $9 or $10 trillion market cap. And again, remember the significance of BlackRock. Remember the significance in terms of what this country has looked to, has called upon, has asked to help in this traditional financial circumstances or crisis that the country is currently in. They looked to BlackRock to help them with that. That, my friends, is the institutional, if you will, perspective in thinking and mindset for this space. Let's go to the chat. Guys, 115 people here and 56 likes, guys. Do me a favor. If you haven't done it already, collapse that chat. No worries, collapse the chat, go smash the like. We want to get this channel out to more of us, the average Joe and the average Jane in the space. They need to hear something like Raoul Pal. They need to understand the bigger picture. And we're still early in the game. They don't even know that we're still early. That this new asset class is just that. It's still new. It's still a mass asset. Even with Bitcoin getting over $1 trillion in market cap. They don't know. They don't know that a 10x in the digital asset space, a 10x is customary, routine, normal. They don't know that. They don't know. They're trying to compete, and they're trying to participate in the rigged system that is the stock market and the NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange. They don't know about this space. They don't know that they can participate on a level playing field with BlackRock. With BlackRock. They don't know that they can get this asset before BlackRock gets the asset. Think about that. The world, maybe one of the largest, if not the largest assets under management platform in the world. And they can get themselves, the bank teller can get Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin before BlackRock. I mean, just think about that. But they don't know. Before the largest asset under management company, arguably in the world, I forget the trillions, how many trillions it is. They can get the truck driver, the freaking high school kid, the dude in their first year in college. Are you kidding? They can get a hold of Bitcoin, self-custody it themselves in seconds. And BlackRock, it's going to take them 9 to 10 months to get it. You want to talk about a level playing field? Wow. Massive in a lot of ways, right? Think about that. I mean, that is crazy when you think about it. Like, and that's why we want you guys to try to get over it. Let's try to get over 100 likes, because that's the significance. It's not about the asset. It's about the asset class, as Raoul Pal always says. Raoul Pal himself says, I don't get this freaking tribalism that's going on in this space. He said, macro investors don't think like that. They think about asset class, right? What's going on, Chrissy Fowles? How are you guys? Hope everyone's doing well. Good morning to you, right? Again, we want to think, you know, if we want to think and act like the 1% of the 1%. We got to get how they think. We have to understand their moves. And what people like Raoul Pal and Alex Mashinsky have graciously been doing is sharing that, how they think and how they act. It's powerful. We're in a blessed position. Never, ever, ever, ever in the history of finance has, you know, the freaking, the carpet cleaner can participate in an asset class on a level playing field. And we gotta let that carpet cleaner know. He doesn't know right now. He or she doesn't know about the digital asset space. And the way we can do that is by smashing the likes. Let's get it over 100 likes. That would be awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, Jared M., good morning to you, my friend. Corey Anderson, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is how we let them know. That's how we do our part, right? Because we all know that trying to talk to our friends directly. This crypto seed making a protein shake. Thank you, right? And that's how we let them know, because we try to talk to them ourselves. Don't work so much. We smash the like button, we get the channel out. We use that third party, right? Because your friends aren't going to listen to you. My friends aren't going to listen to me. The way it works is my friends will listen to you because you're third party, and your friends will listen to me. That's why we do it. That's why we get the channel out. That's why we smash the likes, so we can get the word out. We need a new 1% in the worst way, right? We need a new 1% in the worst way, right? It's not about the asset. It's about the asset class, right? That's what brings the institutions in. That's what brings the big money in, right? Because in the end, utility is going to rule the day. We know it without question. Without question. And again, the store of value race has not been won yet. Bitcoin has the front run to it, but they haven't won it yet. We all know that XRP can act as a store of value. We know that. They don't know it yet, but we know it. So it's just a matter of letting the horses run. Let them go out there and see who wins it. Who knows? We may end up having two store of values. You never know. And I would be excited about that. Having store of value in Bitcoin and in XRP. You ever think about that? You want to talk about securing and protecting, securing your portfolio and protecting your portfolio. 2 store values. That could be a pretty significant thing, right? Who else checked in? Did I miss someone else checking in? XRP Magnificent, good morning to you, my friend. John is here. We got John, and we got John Doe in the building. Michael Cummins checked in. What's going on, my friend? Michael Cummins says, did anyone see the XRP glitch at $51,000? This has been happening a lot with XRP. I think there is testing going on in the background, things that make you go, yeah, always happening with XRP, it seems like, right? Always seems like these glitches happen with XRP. It's just amazing to me. Good to see you, XRP Vampire. Good morning to you. Treble Conte says, check your Twitter, Siege. I just sent you something. All right, let me check that out. So again, that's the significant, guys, really is that the freaking carpet cleaning, the truck driving, the bank teller can compete, can get a hold of an asset before BlackRock. I mean, are you kidding me? Oh, the U.S. lawmakers introduce a bill to clarify crypto regulations from James Rule, XRP. Thank you, Trevor. Is that the one you're talking about? Okay. Oh. And also, Crypto Eddie shared something in an unaired part of the interview. Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse said that if that were he to launch a new company today, he would base it outside the U.S. Yeah, makes sense. U.S. lawmakers introduce a bill to clarify crypto regulations. Let's go through this together. Let's see what that's about, guys. Thank you, Trevor. I appreciate you sharing that. Shout out to my guy, James Rule, XRP. We appreciate you, brother. A proposed bipartisan bill would ask the SEC. Remember that news? I tell you, BC Backer, I'm telling you guys, if you're not watching BC Backer's videos on YouTube, Blockchain Backer, BC Backer on YouTube, you're missing out on the psychology, mentality, the inner workings of the market. It's not about the TA. It's not just about the TA. He said that something like this was going to happen soon as the altcoin, he said it. He said something about the altcoin market either hitting the 702 or hitting the 786. He said one of those two. I think it was the 702. He says that this news always comes out, the Fibonacci retracement level, right when something hits the 702. And it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be either good news that causes the market to go up, or it's going to be bad news that causes the market to go down. I haven't even read this, but this is interesting to me. Let's go through this. Shout out to BC Backer. U.S. lawmakers introduce a bill to clarify crypto regulations. Like, where did that come from? The proposed bill would create a working group to evaluate U.S. cryptocurrency regulations with input from the SEC and the CFTC. Congress, remember that we said that it was really, really dependent upon Congress to make things happen, to get the clarity. So because the SEC and the CFTC, if you will, they just kind of enforce the thing. But if Congress comes up with something, it can create a better form of clarity. Wow. Representative Patrick Henry, ranking member of the House Financial Services Committee, is the sponsor of a bipartisan bill that would try to create regulatory clarity around digital assets in the US. Is this possibly why Brad Garlinghouse, in the middle of a lawsuit, and possibly the most significant lawsuit in the history of the digital asset space, is going on a public medium, a cable channel, and speaking about the SEC and crypto regulations in the middle of a lawsuit, where you and I know the routine is you're on one side of the desk and your attorney's on the other side of the desk, and without question, they're going to say to you, don't speak of this to anyone at any time about what's going on in this lawsuit. Not a peep, not a word, not a comment, not a like a possible, not like a nothing. Right? And here Brad Garlinghouse is on HBO. He's on HBO commenting and talking. Is this perhaps why? We were trying to figure out why in the world is he? I mean, didn't his lawyers, right? Remember we said that yesterday? Didn't the lawyers, advise him somehow? What kind of clearance did he get from his attorneys? Some of the best in the business, especially when it comes to securities. Some of the best in the business, former SEC commissioners and former chairs, part of the team. What kind of permission did he get from them that would allow him to go on HBO? Is this possibly it? Let's go through this. Congress may soon try to clarify digital asset regulations in the US. Representative Patrick McHenry, and Stephen Lynch introduced legislation Tuesday, bipartisan, Republican out of North Carolina and Democrat out of Massachusetts, a bipartisan bill. Introduced legislation Tuesday to create a working group composed of industry experts and representatives from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to evaluate the current legal and regulatory framework around digital assets in the United States. I wonder if Brad Garlinghouse or someone from Ripple has tweeted about this on Twitter. I wonder. The three other co-sponsors of the bill are Glenn Thompson, Republican from Pennsylvania, Ted Budd, Republican from North Carolina, and Warren Davidson, Republican out of Ohio. The ultimate goal of the legislation called the Eliminate Barrier. It's called the Eliminate Barriers to Innovation Act of 2021. Remember Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse publicly stating how the SEC had significantly screwed up stuff? And it was stifling US innovation. We were just asking about what's going on with the Blockchain Association and how come they haven't spoken up and said anything about the lawsuit with the SEC and Ripple. So Eliminate the Barriers to Innovation Act of 2021 would be to clarify when the SEC has jurisdiction. Would be to clarify when the SEC has jurisdiction over a particular token or cryptocurrency when it is a security, and when the CFTC has jurisdiction when it is a commodity. To clarify when the SEC has jurisdiction over a particular token or crypto, or whether the CFTC might have jurisdiction as a commodity. Wow. U.S. regulations can often appear lacking with no clear rules on when a certain crypto is treated as a security or not, with SEC enforcement actions providing much of the guidance in this area. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce, who is outspoken on the issue, tried tackling it in 2020 by proposing a 3-year safe harbor for projects to get off the ground. Under the terms of the bill, Congress would create a working group with 90 days of the bill's passage composed of SEC and CFTC representative. Within 90 days. Under the term of the bill, Congress would create a working group within 90 days. What the freak? Within 90 days of the bill's passage, composed of representatives from both the SEC and the CFTC. Holy moly. What do you think? Whoa. So non-governmental reps would come from a financial technology company, this working group is going to consist of non-governmental reps that would come from a financial technology company, a financial services institution, small businesses using financial technology, investor protection groups, organizations that support investments in underserved businesses, and at least one academic researcher. Within a year, this group would be required to file a report analyzing current regulations. Oh my goodness. What? So here it is. It is finally here. Congress has finally stepped up to the plate and basically is letting the SEC off the hook and say, oh, no. We need to change some things up because all you are doing is regulating by enforcement, and we're not excited about that. The SEC is in disarray. You got commissioners disagreeing with one another, disagreeing with chairmen, and it's not, we need to change something. Finally, I don't even know, I am so over the top excited. What's going on with this? I am so over the top excited about this. Unbelievable. Do you see what is going on here, guys? This is the news, again, that BC Backer said we would need to get. It was going to come. He says historically, this is what happens when this thing kind of gets to the 702, the market. And I believe this was the altcoin market, either one, either the total or the altcoin. When it hits that 702, there's some news that comes out. And it's either going to be news that's going to move the market up, or it's going to be news that's going to move the market down. And what do you think? I mean, just did the 702 a day or so ago. And look, lo and behold, here is that news. Within a year, this group will be required to file a report analyzing current regulations, the impact they have on primary and secondary markets, and how the regime impacts the U.S. competitive position. Ho, ho, ho. What? That's it right there, guys. I don't even know. I don't even know. What? That's it right there, guys. It's something about this lawsuit that the SEC brought upon Ripple that has just caused all of this to take place. Because any reasonable person, a judge, Annalisa Torres, a congressperson, is going to say, hold on a second, Mr. and Mrs. SEC. You've known about this company since 2012, 2013. And you let it operate and continue to do this thing for 8+ years, maybe even close to 9 years, and you do nothing. And now on the way out, you do something. You got SEC commissioners publicly disagreeing with one another publicly. You're not even keeping it in-house. You're disagreeing publicly. We have states that are coming together and putting complete, total pro-crypto bills and laws into action, like South Dakota and Wyoming, and now Miami's starting to try to do something. What's going on? We can't get left behind. Wow. The report would also look at how custody, private key management, and security are currently treated under law, and what future best practices for fraud prevention, investor protection, and other issues could look like. The report would also include recommendations for improving primary and secondary digital asset markets, including their fairness, orderliness, integrity, efficiency, transparency, availability, and efficacy. Amy Devine Kim, Chief Policy Officer at the Chamber of Digital Commerce, told CoinDesk the legislation aims, Chamber of Digital Commerce, okay, legislation aims to establish an organized, comprehensive regulatory framework for digital assets in the United States. So that, for me, means it doesn't matter if Gary Gensler believes XRP to be a security or was sold as a security. We're going to have a talk about it now. We're going to have a discussion about it. Because we've said this on this channel for a long, long time. How is it that the United States is going to let Japan and the UK and Singapore and the ASEAN market sing the praises and shout from the rooftop the attributes and the performance and all the stellar things about a US of A company and its technology? And the US is just going to just say, okay, cool, you guys can take advantage of it, but we're not. Japan, who is, by the way, a friend of the United States, major Japanese bank and major Japanese companies are using XRP, piling in it in derivatives in the FX market, looking to use it in a major financial traditional space with FX Coin, SBI, and the Nomo, whatever the name of that Japanese bank is. They see the attributes, they see the prowess, they see all the great things about XRP. And they're going to shout from the rooftops about it and use it. And a United States company is going to be used abroad to change the financial world abroad, and the US is just going to let it go. Just going to let it Well, apparently the last administration was cool with that. But it doesn't look as though this administration is. It brings together both the SEC and CFTC in a formal way to work through some of the key issues that have impacted legal clarity in the space for years, Kim said. Now we have an opportunity to start addressing them in a methodical way with a number of stakeholders. I'm not sure what the market is doing right now. Shout out to Trevor. Thank you for sharing this, my friend. Shout out to James Rule for sharing this. Holy cow. Now we have an opportunity to start addressing them in a methodical way with a number of stakeholders. Holy wow. Out of nowhere, I'm telling you, if you guys are not watching BC Backer and listening to his videos from beginning, hey, what's going, if you to the end, when he goes into the BC Backer thing and starts promoting his absolutely amazing course. If you're not watching the videos, you got to watch them. It's not just about TA. I'm telling you right now, guys, he called this. He called it. He called it. He called it. And do me a favor, guys, let him know on Twitter that Crypto C said that he called it. Do me a favor, do that now. If you guys are good on Twitter, I'm not great on Twitter. Let him know that Crypto C said that he called this event. And here it is, right after the market hit the 702, altcoin or total, or the total market cap, whichever one. I believe it's altcoin. He called it, guys. I'm telling you, he called this event. Chrissy Fouch, you're 10,000% correct. Legislation like this isn't written overnight. This has to have been in the works for a while. It's almost like the script has already been written and we're just watching the show. Mr. Wendell, what's going on, my friend? Mr. Wendell, good. Appreciate you checking in. Mr. Wendell, wait. What did Backer call? He said that historically, he said, wait for it. Historically, when something hits the 702, I don't know if it was the total altcoin market, the total market or the altcoin market, one of the two. When it historically, when it hits that 702, some news comes out. And he said, watch, you wait for it. It's going to be some news, either great news that's going to move the market up, or it's going to be some bad news bringing the market down. It depends on what they want and where they are and where they, I'm telling you, watch the last 2 or 3 videos. Ghetto Crypto, what's good, my dude? Appreciate you checking in. You're right, he did. I've been following him for a year now. Great guy. Yeah, he did. Guys, we're almost at 100 likes, guys. We're not quite there yet. So do me a favor, if you didn't get a chance to smash that like on the way in, please smash the like. Collapse the chat and go smash the like, and let's continue hanging out. This is amazing. Justin Chapman says, interesting, I'll check it out. Carmen Perez, another lady in crypto checking in. How are you, Carmen? Good to see you this morning. Guys, this is powerful, powerful news. The 702 is a retracement level. TA, it's a technical term in TA. It's the 702 retracement level. Yeah, go check out Mr. Wendell. I would highly encourage you to go check out BC Backer and his videos. Bakir Bosboy just bought XRP, $1,700 of XRP. No gas from my Lambo this month. I'm bicycling. Massive news, guys. Absolutely massive news. Wi-Fi reviews. I've been reaching out to BC Backer to join you on your show. Well, thank you, my friend. I think he may think I'm mad at him, but or he may even be mad at me because I use his name in one of my videos and one of the titles of my video. But you guys know that I have constantly been promoting BC Backer and constantly have been promoting his course, right? Constantly reporting, right? Absolutely amazing. And here I am again today, encouraging you guys to go check them out, right? And whenever I'm talking exit strategy and preparing for this market, who is the guy I recommend? It's BC Backer, and go and check out his course. That's right, Kyle Timor. They hold on to news just until the right moment. Appreciate you checking in, Kyle. Just like central banks partnering with XRP and the CBDC project. I think the pilot program was already running and is very successful. It makes perfectly good sense. I don't think they publicly say about a pilot thing unless they have already been privately piloting it. Remember when Ripple came out in that webinar and the dude talked about the plug and play CBDC program that they had? Remember that? It was like a plug and play. Okay, just slide the mouse over here. Yeah, hit submit there. Okay, no, slide the mouse over here and hit this. Monetary policy, yeah, that's over here on the top left. The ability to do negative interest rate, yeah, that's here on the bottom right. You pick your thing for your CBDC. Slide over the mouse over it and click. Remember when Ripple came out with that on that webinar and that dude spoke of that? You remember that? And you're telling me that the United States is going to let a good old United States US of A company again be shouted from the rooftops by other nations and utilized by other nations, and the United States is not going to do it? It's not going to take advantage of it? Now, I thought the last administration was going to usher the people from Ripple up to the front of the room and sing their praises, but it didn't happen. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Best of all times, Crypto Siege. What you suggest? Waiting for your reply. I have a bunch of XRP in my bag. Should I settle, hodl to remove, fed up with hodl? Well, look. I can't tell you what to do with your money, my friend. I can't tell you what to do with your money. But what I would say, what I would ask myself is: XRP the greatest digital asset created or not? Does XRP have the technology and the partnerships and ODL and all those things going on, RippleNet and Spring, creating more use cases for XRP or not? It's one thing to hold an asset, right? And you've been holding it because of the expected promise. That goes on a lot in the digital asset space. You buy an asset and you accumulate an asset based upon the expected promise. The expected promise. Right now, people are stacking up ETH on an expected promise of ETH 2.0. It's years away. An expected promise. Cardano, great project, an expected promise. Ripple has put together RippleNet. Xspring is in motion. ODL is actively in motion, right? Coil in motion. Projects building on the XRP ledger in motion. The price is a distraction. Focusing on the price is a distraction. And honestly, quite honestly, uninformative. The value is in the protocol. Most of the digital asset space has waited over 3 years for something. We're still not really technically in the full tilt yet. Good for you, best of all time. Good for you, my friend. That's what I say. In the Crypto Siege's home, right? We're in accumulation. We're figuring out ways to get more of. Right? That's what we're doing. Figuring out a way to get more of. Yep. I had some wins in getting more, and I had a loss in getting more. But I'm still working on getting more. Frankie P, that's right. Glenn Hutchins quote. I love it. Absolutely. Uncle Shep DGC OG Soldier. Oh, Wi-Fi. What did Wi-Fi say? Best of all time. Sell it. Oh, no use case. That's funny, right? So that's ultimately what I would say to that, because I certainly can't tell anyone what to do. I would never tell you guys what to do with your money or your assets. I would never do that. So think about that news, guys. Thank you, Trevor LeConte, for checking in, for sharing that and bringing that to my attention. Ghetto Crypto says this course is $39. Talk about BC Backer and well worth it. Look, you want to talk about a product that under promised and over delivered? It's that product right there for 39 bucks from BC Backer. Right. So guys, there it is there. Who let the bulls out was in the building. What's good, my friend? Good to see you. I shared your intro today. As a matter of fact, that's the guy who created my intro for me on the channel. Who let the bulls out. It's great to see you checking in today, my friend. So there it is, guys. That is massive news. The United States Congress has come together and proposed a bipartisan bill to bring about greater clarity, regulatory clarity for the digital asset space in the United States. Woo! That is massive news, guys. Absolutely massive news. All right, guys, so listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for hanging out today. It's been a really, really cool hang. Never, ever forget this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of change, excuse me, of trading our time for money. They don't want us to participate in the same game that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys.